Hi, I'm Dennis Potter. Welcome to this edition of Inside Crisis. We're going to talk today about post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth, PTG, refers to a positive psychological change experienced as a result of having lived through a disruptive event. This change helps the person to move to a higher level of functioning than before the event. The disruptive event often represents significant challenge to their adaptive coping resources and poses a threat to their understanding of the world and their place in it. Post-traumatic growth is not just about returning to the same life as before the event, but rather it's about undergoing significant, life-changing, psychological shifts in thinking and how we relate to the world. And these changes contribute to a deeply personal process of change that is meaningful to the individual. Post-traumatic growth is often characterized by decreased reactions to and faster recovery from the normal stressors of the original event. And it seems to occur as a result of exposure to the event and the subsequent learning associated with new or utilizing old functional coping skills. The concepts are associated with the positive psychology movement. The term was first coined by psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte in 1995. According to the authors, 9 out of 10 survivors report at least one aspect of post-traumatic growth, such as at very least a renewed appreciation for life. We at CCN have long been emphasizing that returning to the level of functioning before a trauma, stressor, or challenge as the ultimate goal of a CIR intervention is good. And it is still a very worthwhile goal. But is there more? Yeah. Is this line of thinking different? Yeah. It's a difference between resilience and PTG. And what are they? Well, the difference is in the recovery point. Resilience gets us back to where we started. It helps us get back to pre-incident functioning, a worthy goal. Post-traumatic growth goes above and beyond resilience. Post-traumatic growth finds benefits within the challenges. It allows the person to thrive. Scholarly interest in post-traumatic growth began to really gain considerable strength in the mid-90s, and it was based on the idea that greater emphasis and interest should be placed on studying people who actually are healthy and brighter aspects of whole human behavior. And this has led to the movement known as positive psychology. Now, there's significant evidence that individuals facing a wide variety of difficult situations can experience significant positive changes. Post-traumatic growth occurs when the person's attempt to adapt to the event has set off high levels of psychological distress. PTG does not occur as a direct result of the trauma, but rather it's with the individual's struggle with the new reality in the aftermath of the situation that is absolutely crucial in determining the extent to which PTG growth occurs. Spirituality has been shown to highly correlate with PTG, and in fact, many of the most deeply spiritual beliefs may be a result of trauma exposure, according to O'Rourke in 2008. Social support has been well documented as a buffer to that stress response. Some additional factors that seem to include the capacity to make realistic plans and take steps to carry them out, a positive view of yourself and the confidence in your strengths and abilities, skills in communication and problem solving, the capacity to manage strong feelings and impulses. As Tedeschi and other post-traumatic growth researchers have found, the ability to accept situations that cannot be changed is crucial to adapting to a traumatic life event. They call it acceptance coping, and have determined that coming to terms with the reality is a significant predictor of post-traumatic growth. What are some of the other most common changes? Greater recognition of personal growth, greater appreciation of life, changed sense of priorities and understanding what's really important, warmer, more intimate relationships with others, recognition of new possibilities or paths for one's life, spiritual development. So what can we do to help kind of people to think about and perhaps reach this growth potential? For the vast majority of disruptive events for which we provide interventions, getting back to pre-incident functioning is a worthy goal. And for the most part, there are fairly few truly traumatic events. Most of them are truly disruptive events. So we must be cautious about introducing comments about growth coming from adversity. It may seem insensitive that people have experienced this disruptive event. We can encourage employees to accept that the trauma has happened. Doesn't mean they have to like it. Doesn't mean that you're satisfied with it. It's just an acknowledgement that it happened. And we know that this is easier said than done. Some suffering is inevitable. If some suffering wasn't occurring, it's not a disruptive event. Understand that we can't go back and change what happened, and accept that. We want to affirm and help them to affirm that there is meaning and purpose to life in spite of the disruptive event. And we want to assist them in persevering, even when it hurts, moving forward. We want to help them build some self-confidence. Maybe we want to challenge them to take small steps, make small goals, achieve them, and reward themselves when they're successful. For those events that are both disruptive and traumatic, perhaps we can plant the seeds for greater growth for those individuals. We won't necessarily see them take place. We won't see them naturally take root. That's not the important part. What is important is we give the person hope that they can not only survive, but possibly thrive. Thank you for watching this edition of Inside Crisis.